Hi, it's Drybear. The days are ticking by. We're almost there to Sunday's dev live stream for PAX East, which they have confirmed that their broadcast is going to start on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So 12 p.m. Eastern or whatever your time zone is there. They've done a little bit of this. So like during the live stream, there will be milestones of like viewership, engagements, drops, and things like that. And they have some of these icons that are a little bit sneaky beaky, but all of that is going to be going on with the live stream, and they'll be showing off the new Descendant, probably the gameplay of the new Descendant, and a whole bunch of goodies for Season 3 as well. So I want to make sure that we're tuning in for that. But we're still not through all of the dev responses for the last Q&A, which was absolutely mind-bogglingly big. So many discussions went on, but we're towards the end, so we're going to keep pushing until we're finished. Starting with this is a little sneak peek for the extension of the Arche Tuning system. I've mentioned before, and I think that the Arche Tuning system, while it is basically just Paragon boards from Diablo 4, I think it is a great addition to the game. It has been a positive thing, and it does allow you to make some flexible choices for your build that opens up other options in other areas, which is really cool. But they did show this off as part of the Q&A, revealing the extensions. You can see that the board is actually getting bigger with more nodes and more things to add. But also, as you can see in the four corners of this here, you can see these locked areas here and these four corners, they will be adding in a socketing system for the Arche Tuning system, which is going to be, you will earn these mutation cells that you will then be able to place directly into your Arche Tuning if you've unlocked the node. It's just like glyphs in Diablo or like jewels in Path of Exile passive skill tree. You'll be able to gain the stats from those mutation cells and place them directly into your Arche Tuning, on top of it just having a bigger board with more stats to pull from. They also showed off the UI here. They didn't really show any of the stats on the mutation cells as well, but you can see that there's a good 13 of these on screen right now, and they even have their own little sockets as well, so maybe they'll be restricted on these sockets you can place in, like maybe it's one of the four per, like A, R, X, and M in the different corners, or maybe not. When an item is equipped, it becomes bound to the node and cannot be removed. To apply a different effect, it must be overwritten with another tuning item or extracted. And so it sounds like they're going to put some big restrictions on this, that once you farm the mutation cell and put it into your Arche Tuning board, you'll have to overwrite it with another mutation cell, or you will have to, pay some amount to be able to remove it if you don't want it there in the first place. And obviously you could just not have it on the board in general. Next was a rather interesting question around like, hey, now that the game has been out for almost a year now, and there's new players coming in and old players leaving and veteran players that pop in for seasonal, and the people that just play every day as their comfy, game that they just settle into after work and have fun with. But everyone's at a different progression level, and there are people that have been playing for a long time that just have everything. Like I have every weapon in the game 5 out of 5, and we're Mastery 29 waiting for new stuff to come into the game. And there are people that are brand new that don't have anything. I had someone in chat that said, hey, I just joined today. I found a video from 2024 saying to build my tamer. Do you have any tips? Right? So like there's a wide disparity of people in progression levels. And so there was a question of like, what do you plan to do about this in Season 3? And also just acknowledging the fact that everyone wants Season 3 to be an absolute banger, just to kind of like really outdo everything that's been done as far as live service at the current moment. And the response from the director was, we are preparing major events and a growth support system for new and returning players in Season 3. Generous rewards will also be offered to help them settle smoothly into the game. So they do plan to have a lot more events in Season 3, as well as some growth support systems and one-time bonuses, and some special unique rewards for people who haven't played in a long time or people that are brand new to the game. So hopefully all of these are huge hits and bring a lot of people into the game to get them their growth. I know some people, and let me know what your thoughts are on this. They did do a giveaway of Ultimate Bunny twice, like once at the end of winter and once recently, like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, where you could pick up Ultimate Bunny without having to buy her or farm her. Some people were super excited about that because it meant that new players could get Ultimate Bunny. Ultimate Bunny is a great gateway drug, is how I refer to her, and that she's very useful in most mobbing content. And if you have a good weapon, she can be good at bossing as well, which is super useful. Or if you have a highly specialized high voltage build, you can do her for bossing as well. But it allows people to have a method for farming things that can be really useful for catching up, right? Like if you have the starter character, like you're running like Ajax with no mods, it's going to be really hard to farm the weapons that you need, or the modules that you need or any of that stuff there, or even just doing Sigma Sector for the extra materials there. So hopefully this all works out, and let me know what you think about them adding these unique rewards. I know a lot of people, there were some people that I saw that were kind of upset that they gave away Ultimate Bunny twice because they either paid for it when the game came out, or they spent like a week or 3 days to 7 days farming Ultimate Bunny and then cooking her and whatever else, not for real, like actually just researching her, so having her in game. But let me know what you think about that. It seems like they are planning for season 3 to be their biggest season yet. Next up was kind of a burning question, which is there are Descendants now that don't have all of their default Transcendent module offerings, right? Like, at least so far in the formula, there has been this expectation that Descendants will get 4 red Transcendent modules that they can use whether they're ultimate or not, and 2 ultimate exclusive red Transcendent modules that can only be used by the ultimate version of the character. However, there are still several characters that don't have that base offering. And so the question that was asked here is, hey, characters like Haley, Inez, Keelan, Serena, they don't have all of their Transcendent modules to pick from. So when are we going to get those so we can actually get more builds for those characters, especially if, you know, they don't have any ultimate forms coming anytime soon? You know, like I doubt Ultimate Keelan's coming in the next month, that sort of thing. So what's going on with that? And the director responds with, sorry for the delay for that. Before Ultimate Descendants are released, we're preparing the 3rd and 4th Transcendent modules that can also be used by the standard Descendant. So it sounds like from this response, they are planning to, at least before the Ultimate version gets launched, if there's a character that's been around for a while, they want to at least have those 4 red modules that are on the baseline character that can be utilized without having the ultimate form before that launch comes. So if you're looking for more red modules for Haley, Keelan, Inez, Serena, or any other character that's missing them before they get an ultimate form, they do plan to release those in a regular patch at some point in the future. Next is a bit of a rough line of questioning. This person, who is a South Korean player, came at the directors with gusto, you could say. The gist of their very long novella that they wrote about the game was that, what are we supposed to do while we wait for season 3? Season 3 is supposed to be this big, huge, win for the game with tons of new content, new Descendant, all of these things, and events and whatever else. But currently, right now, it feels like the game is in crisis. So their words were, the player numbers are really low. People aren't logging in. Like, there's tons of balance problems still. Like, what are we supposed to do now while we wait the month and a half or 2 months to season 3 that is kind of in the future? And what can we do now? They even mentioned that, hey, like, not everyone wants to climb the Void Erosion Purge leaderboards to be at the top. Like, they don't find that fun. So if that's the core content, what else is there really for people there? So the question of the director was, what are we supposed to do now while we wait for season 3? And right now it feels like the game is kind of at a low point. So what do you say about that? And the response from the director was, during the rest of season 2, episode 2, we'll proceed with the Void Erosion Purge improvements we promised at the start of this Q&A. We're boldly moving away from the skill attribute meta and instead enhancing skill efficiency to rework this into content all Descendants can participate in together. So they said that, over the next 6 weeks, they still plan to do updates for, like, Void Erosion Purge, skill, Abyss, things like that. A new Abyss boss, the Ice Maiden, will also be added soon. So if you're tired of the big lightning boy, you can do the Ice Maiden, which is going to be like a modified Dead Bride, which hopefully has some cool skins. I don't know. Most of the Abyss skins are very wonky and cheesy for me. In addition, a new node will be introduced in Arche Tuning that allows equipping Mutation Cells. These cells must be farmed through gameplay. He mentions that several quality of life features will be improved, a core item conversion system will be added, and presets will gain inversion reinforcements, as well as the ability to manually rearrange their order. To better support party play, we're also at a party finder system and a feature to view other Descendants builds. He's talking about season 3 at this point. One major improvement, dynamic motion as well. Huge jiggle physics, dynamic motion will also be introduced in the update. We're also preparing an update for external component cores. This will help strengthen strengthen Descendants' defense capabilities and support skill-based characters to engage more actively in battle as well. There will also be buffs for skill-based Descendants, improvements to movement speed, issues discussed earlier, balance adjustments for reporting firearms. He's kind of just showing like all the things that are coming, so people to respond to the sentiment that nothing's on its way or imminent. In addition, we're preparing a variety of events to keep you engaged while waiting for season 3. So more on the question of like, what do we do while we wait? We always aim to bring you more and more polished content to truly deliver fun and satisfaction. That said, we're painfully aware that we still fall short in many areas. We'll do our very best to wrap up season 2, episode 2 well, and prepare season 3 with even greater care. But let me know what you guys think about this in this statement. I know some people kind of just have this doomer mentality on the game in general and are kind of just waiting for season 3 at this point overall. But let me know what you're doing now, if you're taking a break from the game or you're playing every day or anything in between. What is your stance on the current state of TFD related to this kind of line of questioning? Next, there was a question around clarification. They were like, hey, in a recent AMA, you responded with, hey, the target characters, like the state of balance that you're looking for in the game, they mentioned that they want Viessa, Freyna, and Haley. Like that's where like the golden age of TFD was. Like when Freyna was farming stuff, Haley was killing bosses, and Viessa was just chilling it up, relaxing, all cool on the playground, right? So like that's what they're looking for. So they were like, hey, can you clarify what you mean by this? Like what does that mean going forward? Because obviously we had Inez come out, we had Serena come out and break everything. Like what's the plan going forward? And so the director responds with, when I mentioned that during the dev live, I was referring to Viessa as the Descendant who most accurately reflected our intended baseline performance at the time. It makes me think about the crazy question from yesterday, someone saying that Viessa is somehow unattractive or ugly in some ways. I was just like, I will never stop. Like that's going to be in my head for a couple days now. However, stated at the beginning of this Q&A, we decided to narrow the gap between firearm focused and skill focused Descendants. So make it so that the weapon based characters are closer to the skill based characters, because we kind of went through a period where weapons were useless and skills were everything. Then because of weapon cores and crazy debuffs to skills that shouldn't be a surprise to them as to why it broke. But then we went from skills are everything, weapons suck, to weapons are everything and skills suck. And then we've just been like flip-flopping on that as well. So they want to kind of narrow that gap between the two. And with that in mind, we now believe the baseline for skill-based Descendants needs to be raised. Moving forward, we're considering setting higher performing characters such as Freyna or Inez as the new balance reference points for skill dealers. To be honest with you, at least from my perspective, I feel like they need to stop saying the balance point or like the point of, or the reference point, because they keep changing it. They're like, hey, Ultimate Freyna is the new point of reference for all characters. When she came out, that's what they said. They're like, Ultimate Freyna is what we're targeting. That's what we want. Everything's going to be Ultimate Freyna or bust. We'll buff people to build all that. Then they released Inez, and Inez just took a giant dookie all over Freyna, and then they released Serena, and Serena took a giant dookie on all of Albion and all of every Descendant ever. She just blew everything out of the water, right? So like, then they're like, okay, after Serena, they're like, no, actually Viessa is the point of balance. I feel like they're just confusing everyone at this point. They just try to bring it in line and set a target, but I feel like it's losing its value every time they change which character is this month's point of balance reference point for the game. But let me know what you think about that. And I'll leave it there for today's Q&A. Remember, we're 2 days away from the big live stream on Sunday for the PAX East, and we got crazy events going on for the weekend as well. So let me know what you think about this line of questioning down below on the First Descendant, the First Descendant. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below. Leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people. And don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.